ZMA5 will have you feeling all the way live. Yes, I'm the chief handler for Lord Devin Haney, the lightweight champ of the world. And we always use what's best. You dig snack is a fact, Jack. And at the top we stay because we listen to Victor Conte.
You have one guy coming up with a fight in a few days, in Jermell going up against
Right,
Jeison Rosario.
right.
How give me an update. How was the whole training camp experience during these conditions?
The training camp has been great, man. I mean, we always have good camps. This is a really probably one of the best. I hate to see. I always see the guys doing those interviews. So this was the best training camp we've ever had, but it was really good, and it was like the mood was really good. So it was like the mood was really good. So it was never like this. It was always hype. It was always energetic. He always is focused. He's always wanting to do what my requests are. Like, if I ask him to do this, do that. He's very. I think that the Tony Harrison fight, looking back at that, he felt like, hey, we're gonna build from that. So that's what he did. Was that, I mean, Tony bought something out of him that he needed to be bought out of him, and I think that he came back to this camp. When we started training, he was already in shape. He was already good to go. So he didn't have to get in shape, which is beautiful. I love it when the guys, basically focus on being in condition before we even start. Because what happens is we don't have to worry about condition. We just focus on strategy and gameplay.
What
So it
did
was
you
good.
guys? You said focus on strategy and game plan, but was there something in specific that you wanted to focus on from the Harrison fight to build up on?
I mean, I think that we just saw some things that I thought he could have did better in the Harrison fight, and then that was the initial. Initially, I made notes right when I watched the fight or whatever, and I never really. I mean, I watched that fight over maybe, but man, I mean, I did the little show with PBC. I watched it over, and then you go back and I made notes like what I think he should do. And because if I watch that fight, I'm gonna go do to him what I saw or I felt like he had available in that fight that Tony didn't take advantage of. So, but I think that we started there. That was the starting point, and then because we had to make sure we close all doors, all everything that they felt like they had a possibility of being able to get into. Then we went to just building on Rosario. What Rosario does is great. How good of a fighter he is and what he does really well. So that's just was a key element of the whole training camp. And this one is better because we got to build every day, every week, build.
And I would imagine there was less people around too. That I've heard from other fighters that's kind of like a silver lining in all of this, that because no
Right,
one can go anywhere, no one can go into gyms. It's been a really like focus centric type of training.
right. You know that for me, I don't like to be around a lot of people anyway. I think that whole gym full of people thing is a joke. 'Cause, like you can never find out the real fighters in the gym when you surrounded by guys who really want to play boxing. I think playing boxing is very popular today. So, but it was all focused, man. It was all people who were really there for a particular cause. I mean, we had Errol came in one day, a couple of days when we were in Houston, and so it was good, man. It was good. That was a big pick me up for the camp for him to see him, and to see him Errol train and watch. So it was great, man, because they both fed off each other, and that's the key element. That's beautiful. But the camps being closed down, I love it like that because that's when it's all serious and it's only jokes will be told will be the people who are involved as opposed to other people on the outside telling jokes. Like, come on, man. So it's been good.
Did Arrow move around with Jermell at all for this camp, or at least do anything of that sort?
Did you? No, you breaking up. I think you said did they move? Did they spar? Is that what you're
Yeah,
asking?
yeah, yeah. Did
No.
Jermell and Errol spar at all in this camp?
No, they didn't. They didn't spar, but it was just the energy, like to see, you know, for a world champ to watch another world champ. And we had a conversation about it, and Jermell was like, no matter how good I may think I am, it's always great to see another world champ train. And the way he throws his punches and the way he does his stuff is like great to watch because it's always good for me and I can always learn. So it's like that's what a true champion is, not a guy who goes in and knows everything, not the guy who tries to assume or act a certain way. He's like you have to humble yourself to grow, and that's what he thought about. That's what he said.
What did Errol tell Jermell? Did he give him any advice for the fight, or how he thought the fight would turn out?
I mean, I think that's some pride. I mean, I wasn't in. I wasn't involved in that, and I think that he still may call him. I mean, I don't know what he said to him. They kind of talk. They had their own personal relationship. So a lot of times I'm not involved. I'm just on the sideline or whatever. But I think that whatever he says to him, I know he wants him to go get that title. And bring it back to where we can be. Get those 5 belts in the house, man. But really 6 because the ringside thing too. So.
Yeah, the ring.
Not ringside, but no, Ring Magazine. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Ring Magazine belt also. So, hey, man, that'd be like 6 of them in the house. So it's good.
What I noticed during the workout that you guys had is that Jermell looks a lot more fluid on the bag. Like, I've been in a lot of camps where fighters will throw a combination and take a break, take 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and then throw another combination and take a little break. But when he was hitting the bag and training with you, he looked very, very fluid. Just work, touch, hard, touch,
Right.
touch.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that's just part of his work ethic for this training camp. We never really throw combinations anyway. I don't believe in combinations anyway. But he really just let his hands go. So without being combinations, you can close your eyes and hit the bag with throwing combinations, right? Because the bag is there. But if it's a real person, once you land the jab, his head moves, so those other shots won't even land. So that's why I don't really throw combinations. But he has to think when he's throwing those shots, opposed to just close his eyes, just letting him fly. You have to think about every shot that he throws, and that's what him being present, keeping him present, because the thought process of every punch he's throwing. And that means he's thinking faster to be throwing punches. And you said that he looks more fluent. I mean, he's thinking faster, which is a key element to what we do. It's about keeping him on his toes and thinking faster and being present.
Yeah, because I remember, I saw a video that we shot of him maybe about 2 years ago in LA, and I was looking at him hitting the bag there, and then when I saw this, I was just like, wow, he looks a lot better. He looks more fluid in there. Would you say compared to a year ago, a year and a half ago, what would be the biggest improvement you've seen in him?
It's his presence, man. I think that his ability to humble himself and learn from himself, right? Learn from the fights that he had before, and obviously went back and watched them. And to be a champ, everybody around you tells you you're great, but you have to be able to acknowledge where you're not great and the areas that you're not great. So I never give compliments, right? My job is to tell him what he's doing wrong, so the night of the fight, it's right. So what happens is there's a lot of wrong days or wrong things before you see perfection on fight night. So I think that his ability just to be willing to learn and to humble himself to be great is what really, and that shows his true dedication and fortitude, is that he was able to watch himself, learn, or like I said, when Errol was in the gym and we had a conversation about that, that's his greatest strength right now, his ability to be better.
Mm. He suffered the loss against Harrison, and it really affected him. How was he during that time? Did you have a chance to talk to him through that, and how was he able to get through that? Because it did seem to affect him for a little bit.
Well, it bothered me as well, man. But we talk. We have this every week phone call, regardless of what it is, whatever's going on. So we have a thing, man. We just call each other every week. could talk about the birds or whatever flies. It doesn't matter. But we make sure we talk.
You talk
Just
about the birds and the bees with them?
not the birds and the bees. I wish I could have, but hey, look, a lot of people still need that conversation. But
Yeah.
but nah, he's but but it's just like you want to be able to be close to you guys. That's why I don't train a lot of guys. It's because you cannot have a personal, emotional relationship with an individual when you have 10 guys, 8 guys. It's too draining. And they have a family, and I still work a full-time job. So I keep the whole deal is like I keep everything like to where I can reach out to my guys. I can be have a personal relationship with them other than a business relationship. I mean, I think that you for me, you get more of a guy when the guy knows that you know what he's talking about, what he's feeling. I think you get more out of him like that. That's just from my perspective. I'm not going against anybody else, but I can't to train all these. I get people asking me all the time, but I mean, I would be lying to Errol and Jermell and Burley if I take on 5, 6 more new guys. I mean, because I couldn't be to them what I was supposed to be. So, hey.
How is Jermell outside of this on a day-to-day basis? Because a lot of the times when fans see him or even the media sees him, he's very amped up, very intense. Is he like that all the time?
Yeah. Well, no, you know what, man? He's really a comedian, man. I mean,
yeah, he's hilarious. He's funny.
But this is what happens.
Yeah.
When he knows that people are talking about him, right? He doesn't know who it is. We know somebody's talking about him. So it's easier for him to treat everybody the exact same way. See what I'm saying? Because he can't, to decipher who's who. It's too much work. So he just acts a certain way to everybody, and not all everybody around him, but everybody in the media. Is unfortunate, but it's like people talk about him, and he sees everything that they say. I mean, I'm never on the internet like that, but he sees everything that people say, and I think that's what really, that's why he's kind of, I don't want to talk to you if I know somebody's been talking about me. So, it's like, hey, and I mean, I do understand from his perspective, but everybody's not the same. So that's the difference.
So outside of this, how is he really? Because we don't ever really get to see that side of him.
He's funny, man. Listen. All he does is crack jokes. Really, all he does is crack. He's really like an entertainer, right? Because that's all he does. He's dancing or he's talking. Listen, man, he only listens to Chris Brown and like love songs. So, so people see him like this rough. No, that's all he listens to that's what he listens to. I'm being honest. Like, he listens to like R&B music all day, and he cracking jokes. That's really how he really is. I mean, like he won't listen. Like you come to the gym and rap music on, man, I don't like that music. Turn the music. So he's like, he'll put it on some Chris Brown, awesome, So hey, man. So really, at heart, he's a soft, gentle guy, obviously.
You got to tell him to put out his Birds and the Bees playlist then.
Hey, man, you know what? I bet he has one, though.
I'm sure he does.
But wait. These young guys probably listen to some rap music or something in the intimate times or something. You never know what they listen to.
You can't put on rap music during intimate times.
It's a different day and age with these young guys, man. I'm telling you.
You gotta be smooth. You gotta set the mood.
Hey, there's no Smokey Robinson. There's no Luther Vandross. There's no Prince. There's no D'Angelo's. There's no Brian McKnight. None of that's going on anymore.
Brian McKnight. Oh my God, I haven't heard that in forever. Right. But yeah, that
no Marvin,
for sure.
That's right. No Marvin Gaye. No Jill Scott. No, I mean, think about it. No, all these great, phenomenal singers. It's no more of that. I mean, who knows what they're talking about now? So they listen to some rap music. No Coltrane. No, you know what I mean? No Lee Morgan. No jazz music. So what do they listen to? Who knows? But I'm just saying is that, hey man,
you got to put out a Birds and the Bees playlist, and you got to inform everybody. You got to tell everybody what's up.
Hey, I can let them know, man.
You gotta let them know. Send me your playlist. We'll put it out on Twitter. We'll help people out. Because, you know, during this Corona
I
time.
listen to a lot of.
I said
What you
during
say?
this
I listen
Corona
to-
time, like a lot of people are locked up inside.
Right,
You're going to see a
right.
lot of Corona babies.
Right. Corona babies. Yeah, I listen. You know what's funny? During the daytime, I listen to like my favorite two, singers like Jill Scott and John Legend. Like I like them a lot. But then at nighttime, I listen to Coltrane or Lee Morgan or some some jazz every night, jazz music. So it's a mixture. But at the gym, I'm listening to rap music. My little guy Yellow Beezy. So it's it's just like, man.
It's whatever fits your mood, if you feel,
The situation.
Yeah, there you go. The
mood,
situation, the mood. Yes. Yeah, I don't know. We went off on a little tangent here. Looking at Jeison Rosario, is preparing for him and the process for a fight with him more challenging as preparing for the style of a Tony Harrison?
I think that could be equal. It could be, but it's like, put it like this. It's like two different situations, two different scenarios. One guy that you feel like you beat, and now you're coming back and get your title. Another guy who has two titles, who beat the guy that you thought you were going to eventually get the fight. So I think that, and the stakes are higher a little bit, but it may not be, because to beat Harrison and to get Rosario's titles could be equal, right? But training for him is pretty interesting because he's a tough guy, and he's a big guy. He's a big puncher, and what you notice is that he gets better and better with most fights. Each fight he gets better and better and better. So you have to prepare for the best of him, not the worst of him. Like I always watch, like his best fights, the fights that I think are his best fights, the ones I watch. Not necessarily the losses, because obviously that was him not being so great. But I want to see him at his best and prepare for him at his best. And I mean, he's put together some pretty good fights. So I think that a pretty interesting fight.
Yeah, he certainly has gotten a lot better compared to like when he was fighting on FS1 compared to the last few fights. Because back then he just seemed very raw and just would swing and wouldn't be as defensively sound or compact. And he's gotten better in that aspect, especially in the last fight.
Yeah, I think that when I watched that fight too. I mean, because I go off initial fight, so the first fight I saw, and I was like, man, this guy's really good, And I don't remember watching all the other fights, but then when I watched deep and close, I said, well, yeah, he really is good. Because then you have to watch, because I was watching as a fan when he fought J-Rock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you go back and watch as your job and your business, and you see something different. You see what you saw, but you saw, like I saw him as a good fighter, but you see more of that. So you have to kind of try to pick up on his tendencies. And like I said, maybe they'll be correcting some of the things that they feel like he did wrong, or if he didn't do anything wrong. I mean, because obviously he did a lot of things right, because he's the champ now. But so we'll see. I'm looking forward to it, man. I think it'll be a great fight.
Is there, I guess, what's the biggest concern in this fight for you guys coming into it?
Just that he's a devastated puncher. I mean, what's funny, right, he's a very violent puncher. I mean, he punches with violent intent, like to try to get you out of there, So I mean,
he has good killer instinct.
He's very cautious. He can be patient. He can take it, right, or block shots and then fight. So I think that you just have to kind of be focused and not be. He has the ability to counterpunch also. So I mean, he's kind of like a well-rounded fighter, and that's really what. But the better the opposition is, the better Jermell is, and I'm sure with him, he's been the same way. The better opposition is, the better the fight. So I think that you could possibly be looking at fight of the year.
Yeah, you got a guy in Rosario that throws bombs heavy-handed, and then
Right.
you have a guy in Jermell equally heavy-handed and likes to go for knockouts and is aggressive. They're both aggressive guys, and
Right.
you got to
Right.
think because of their style. Like, I don't know if this fight's gonna go 12 rounds.
Well, we're not gonna get into that because I don't do predictions, but
Yes, I
but
know.
I think it'll be a good fight. I think that Rosario's gonna come to do his thing, man. He's gonna come out there to be. I think that what happens too is that he's been working on boxing a lot, and he's been boxing pretty well, pretty good. I think that when those things start flying, man, sometimes that boxing stuff goes out the window, So
Yeah, it
I think
does.
that was, you know, and so that's what we'll see is that like everything's gonna go out of the window because when they started exchanging and everything go out the window. But I think too is that Jermell has Jermell is obviously the best opposition, the the fastest guy, the most he has pretty good hand speed, So I think that'd be a pretty interesting fight to be honest. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it because this is something that's been building for years. Like whether Jermell has been a WBC champ for like 4 years, even though he lost the belt, he got the belt back within the same calendar year. So a day before the year was up. So because he lost it on December 20th, 21st, he won on December 20th the next year. But so now he's fighting the other guys who he had been building up fighting for years, like J Rock, and at first it was Jared Hurd, and now it's Rosario. So it's amazing. He's ready.
Do you want? Okay, let me rephrase that. Do you feel that your fighter has the bigger firepower? Like, is it more advantageous if they do exchange and they have that kind of fight towards Jermell, or do you not want him to do that?
I want him to be smart, man. I want him to be intelligent. I want him to you have to be uh, just like in the Harrison fight, we were able to pull him back, right? Get him back to boxing. And that's where he got the knockout. So that's where he was able to put the shots together and land the pinpoint accurate shots. So I think that you have to focus on that part of it. You know what I mean? And not get out of that because speed beats power many days when speed is matched with power. So he's a lot faster, and I think he's faster, and I think that may be an advantage. And you have to be smart, you have to be intelligent. One thing about Rosario, I believe that Rosario knows exactly who he is. He knows what his skill set is and what his advantages are. And I think that he will try to capitalize on his advantages for sure.
Have you had a chance to talk to him? What the plan is if he wins and he gets the belts? There would be one more belt left in the division. Is your guys' goal for him to be undisputed, or like have you guys thought about like, hey, what would be left at 154 if he gets these belts from Rosario with the win?
Well, he wants to be the undisputed champ, but I don't live my life on an if. So it's a win, Win is if is always a possibility, but win is always a definite. So you're going there thinking that you're going to win a fight, not. So but he wants to be undisputed champ, 154-pound champ. I think that that's possible because it's like one more belt, and I don't know who the guy is.
I think it's Patrick Teixeira. He has the WBO, I believe.
Yeah, you're right. So that's all he would need after that. And I think that would be beautiful, man, to have an undisputed champ, and then have, possibly have like two of them by next year. So year after next. Come on. It's beautiful.
Yo, you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos of your favorite fighters over here on Fight Up TV, and give us a follow online as well at Fight Up TV on Twitter and on Instagram. We appreciate it, guys.